Let me tell you something today that most people don't want to hear. Failure ain't the end. It's the beginning. You've been trained to be scared of failure like it's a disease. Folks act like if you fail once, you're finished. Man, that's a lie. Failure is not your enemy. It's your education. Failure is the price you gotta pay to win. Every successful person you admire got one thing in common: they failed. Not once, not twice. They failed over and over. They just decided not to quit. That's the difference. They didn't let failure define them. They let it refine them. Failure don't mean you're broken. It means you're built and died. First thing you gotta understand is this: failure is not final. It ain't a death sentence. It ain't a life label. You don't have to wear it like some badge of shame. Failure is just a moment. That's it, a moment. It's a step in the process, not the end of the road. The problem is, too many people treat it like the final chapter. They fall down one time, and then they build a whole story around it. They let one setback become their whole identity. But the truth is, that failure you're scared of, that failure you're running from, that's the foundation you're supposed to build your future on. See, every time you fail, you're getting stronger. Failure is teaching you something success could never teach you. When you fail, you find out what you're made of. You find out how bad you really want it. You find out where your weaknesses are, and you get the chance to fix them. You learn what doesn't work, and that knowledge is priceless. Most people think they learn from winning. Nah, man, you learn from losing. You sharpen your instincts when you get it wrong. You become dangerous when you know how to bounce back. Failure is like fertilizer. It might stink for a while, but it's what makes the soil rich. Without failure, there's no real growth. Without falling down, you don't learn how to get up stronger. Imagine trying to lift heavy weights without ever feeling sore. It's impossible. Growth requires struggle. It requires resistance. That's exactly what failure gives you. If you shift your mind and stop seeing failure as punishment and start seeing it as preparation, you'll stop being scared of it. You'll realize it's part of the blessing. You gotta start looking at failure like a builder looks at bricks. You stack it up, you stand on it. Every mistake, every fall, every disappointment, it's another brick in the house you're building. But if you throw the bricks away every time you fall, you'll never get to the roof. Winners don't dodge failure. They collect it. They learn from it. They build with it. They understand that success isn't built on perfect decisions. It's built on learning from a whole bunch of wrong ones. Here's the real truth. The people who succeed the biggest usually failed the hardest first. They just didn't let it stop them. They understood that failure isn't a wall. It's a staircase. It's the ground you gotta walk through to get to where you're going. You ain't gonna reach your destiny without stepping on some cracked pavement. And that's okay. The cracks are proof you're moving. The scars are proof you survived. You're not failing. You're building something greater than you even realize right now. Let quotes get something straight right now. Nobody who made it skipped failure. Not one person. Every success story you ever heard, every legend you ever looked up to, they got a highlight reel full of losses you don't even know about. See, people love to celebrate the glory, but they don't like to talk about the grind. They don't want you to see the nights they cried, the moments they doubted, the times they almost gave up. But trust and believe, those failures were part of the deal. There's no shortcut around it. If you want to be great, you're gonna have to walk through some losses. Think about it. People who win big only got there because they failed big first. Failure wasn't their stopping point. It was their classroom. They learned from the closed doors. They learned from the bad breaks. They learned from the betrayal, the mistakes, the moments when it looked like everything was falling apart. And instead of throwing in the towel, they tightened up their gloves and got back in the fight. They didn't let the failure define who they were. They used it to refine who they were becoming. We live in a world today that celebrates overnight success. Everybody wants to blow up quick, go viral, hit big without ever tasting defeat. That's a dangerous lie. Real success is layered. It's built slow, with sacrifice and scars and setbacks. You don't become a champion because you never lost. You become a champion because you learned how to lose and still move forward. Success without failure ain't success. It's luck, and luck runs out. Skill, toughness, resilience, that stays with you forever. Every major innovator, every business titan, every world-class artist, every history maker you admire, they failed at something major. They had moments where the dream looked dead. They had projects that flopped, ideas that tanked, seasons of pure struggle. But they didn't pack it up and go home. They looked failure in the face and said, "You're not bigger than my destiny." And that decision, that stubborn refusal to quit, that's what separated them from everybody else. So if you're failing right now, if you're catching L's left and right, I need you to understand, you're not off track. You're on schedule. You're not broken. You're being built. You're not cursed. You're being crafted. Every successful person you know has sat where you're sitting, felt what you're feeling, wondered what you're wondering. The only difference is they kept going. And if you want to stand where they're standing one day, you better make up your mind to do the same. I want you to understand something real clear. Failure ain't here to break you. Too many people act like the minute they hit a bump, they're done. They act like one failed attempt is a sign that the universe is out to get them. Man, that's a lie. Failure ain't some punishment. It's a lesson. It's not there to tear you down. It's there to toughen you up. You don't grow muscles by sitting around in comfort. You grow muscles by pushing against resistance. Failure is resistance. It's the weight you gotta lift to build your strength. Every time you fail, it's an opportunity to learn, to grow, to get better. Think about it. If everything came easy, you'd never know what it takes to really fight for what you want. You'd never learn how to think outside the box. When the usual way doesn't work, you'd never discover the drive that kicks in when it feels like you're out of options. Failure teaches you what success can't. It teaches you how to be resourceful. It shows you your weaknesses so you can turn them into strengths. It challenges you to step up in ways success never will. If you're in the middle of a tough season, if you're staring at failure right now and feeling like it's the end of the road, let me tell you something. This is your shaping season. This is where you get molded, where you develop resilience, where you figure out who you really are. It's like a sculptor chiseling away at a block of stone. That stone ain't broken. It's just being shaped into something beautiful. That's what failure does for you. It shapes you into someone who can withstand anything, who can handle the weight of success when it finally comes your way. Here's the thing that most people don't get. Failure shows you your true potential. It shows you what you're really made of. When things are going right, it's easy to feel confident. But when things aren't going the way you planned, that's when you find out what's really inside you. If you quit, you'll never know how strong you could have been. But if you keep going, you'll discover strength you didn't even know existed. You'll uncover a depth of determination, creativity, and resilience that you never imagined. Failure forces you to dig deep. It's like this. Failure is like fire. It can burn you. It can hurt you. It can feel like it's too much to bear. But when you come through it, you're refined. You're purified. You're stronger than you were before the fire touched you. It builds your character, your integrity, and your ability to handle whatever comes next. The greatest people in the world didn't just get there by winning. They got there by surviving failure, learning from it, and using it as fuel for the next step. That's what failure is. A tool for your growth. A tool to help you build your life on something solid. Listen to me closely. You can't pray for big dreams and then be surprised when big challenges show up. You're asking for something big, something that requires more than just sitting around waiting for it to drop out of the sky. You're asking for greatness, for a life that changes everything, but that greatness doesn't come wrapped up in a bow, handed to you with no cost. Every big dream comes with a price tag. And let me tell you something, that price is challenge, that price is failure, that price is struggle. If you want to build something that matters, if you want to create something that lasts, then get ready for resistance. The bigger your dream, the harder the road is going to be. If your goal is to be average, then fine. You can probably coast through life and avoid a lot of pain. But if your goal is to be extraordinary, to make an impact, to leave a legacy, you got to understand that the road will get rough. It's going to test you in ways you never imagined. You're going to feel knocked down, frustrated, and even tempted to quit. And that's when you have to remind yourself, this is the process. This is what it takes. People think success is a smooth ride, but it ain't. It's a roller coaster. You think you're climbing up, everything's going well, and then boom, life hits you with a dip you didn't see coming. But you gotta learn to trust the process. That dream you're chasing, it's gonna stretch you, it's gonna challenge you, and it's gonna make you uncomfortable. But that's exactly what you need. Discomfort is the soil where growth happens. It's the only place where you start to see the real strength of who you are and who you're becoming. Now hear me on this. Challenges ain't there to make you quit. They're there to prepare you. You can't grow without them. If you're gonna make the impact you're called to make, you're gonna have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. The world doesn't need another person who's afraid of failure, afraid of obstacles. The world needs people who can rise above them, learn from them, and keep going no matter how tough it gets. You can't pray for success and then back out when things don't go the way you thought they would. You gotta be willing to endure the process, the grind, and the lessons that come with it. Every time a challenge shows up, you gotta ask yourself, is this challenge bigger than my dream? If the answer is yes, then you need to reassess what you're really after. But if the answer is no, then it's just another mountain for you to climb. You have what it takes to conquer it. It's not there to stop you. It's there to make you stronger, smarter, and more equipped for the next level. Your dreams will not come easy, and thank God for that. The harder it is, the greater the reward. You can't have both. You can't have big dreams and easy challenges. So embrace the challenge. It's not your enemy. It's your stepping stone to greatness. I want to be crystal clear about something. Failing does not make you a loser. You know what makes you a loser? Quitting. That's it. Quitting is the only thing that guarantees you will never reach your goals, your potential, or your destiny. You can fail 1,000 times, but as long as you keep showing up, as long as you keep trying, you're still in the game. You're still winning. But the moment you stop, the moment you throw in the towel, the moment you give up, that's when you lose. Failure is not the enemy. Quitting is when you fail, you learn. When you fail, you grow. But when you quit, you rob yourself of that growth. You prevent yourself from becoming the person you were meant to be. It's like this. If you want to get stronger, you got to work out. You got to pick up some heavy weights. Sometimes you'll fail. You'll drop the weights. You'll struggle. But you don't give up because of that. You don't walk away and say, this is too much for me. Nah, you get back up, pick up those weights, and try again. The more you try, the stronger you get. But if you quit, you'll never see your true potential. It's easy to sit back and look at successful people and think they've never failed, never struggled. But that's a lie. Every single person who has ever achieved something worth having has failed at least once, and many times, much more than that. The difference is they didn't quit. The difference is they understood that failure wasn't final. They understood that every failure was just a stepping stone, a lesson, a push in the right direction. It's not about how many times you fall. It's about how many times you get back up. You can fail 100 times, and if you keep going, you're still ahead of the person who never started. You see, the world is full of quitters. People quit jobs, quit relationships, quit dreams, and then make excuses for it. They say, it wasn't meant to be, or I'm just not cut out for this. But I'm telling you right now, if you keep quitting, every time something gets hard, you'll end up with nothing but empty dreams and a heart full of regret. Quitting doesn't just cost you your dreams. It costs you the chance to become the person you were always meant to be. It costs you the lessons that come with the struggle. It costs you the strength that comes from pushing through adversity. So the next time you fail, I want you to look at it differently. Don't let failure make you feel like you're less than. Don't let failure tell you that you're not good enough. Failure doesn't define you. Your ability to get back up does. As long as you're willing to stand tall and keep going, you're still in the race. The only way you can truly lose is if you quit. And I know you're not a quitter. You've come too far to give up now. So keep failing, keep learning, and most importantly, keep moving forward. Listen, too many of you out there are treating failure like it's the end of your story. You're acting like one setback means it's over. Like that one mistake or one rough patch is the final chapter. That is a lie. Failure is not a period, it's a comma. It's not the end of your story, it's just a pause. It's a breath before the next big move. If you understand this, your whole perspective on failure will shift and you'll stop letting it knock you off course. Failure is not where the story ends, it's where the story keeps going. Every successful person you admire, every person who's ever made an impact, they didn't let failure stop them. They didn't say, well, I failed, so that's it, I'm done. No, they saw failure as a pause, as a chance to gather themselves and go harder. You gotta start seeing failure that way too. You can't look at a failure like a full stop. It's just a moment, a comma. It means take a breath, reassess, maybe even make a few adjustments, and then keep going. You see, when you treat failure like a period, you close the door on possibility. You make the failure your final destination instead of just a pit stop on the road to greatness. But if you treat failure like a comma, you understand that there's more to come. You understand that every failure brings you one step closer to the version of yourself you've been working toward. It teaches you something valuable, something you can use when you get back on track. Every no you get is just pushing you closer to a yes that's waiting for you. Think about this. The most powerful people in the world, the most successful people in history, they've all had major failures. If they would have stopped after one failure, after one no, they would have never made it. Failure for them wasn't a sign that they should quit. It was a signal to press forward, to dig deeper, to work harder. They understood that failure was part of the journey, not the end of it. When they failed, they didn't see it as the end of the road. They saw it as the beginning of the next chapter in their book. Now, I'm not saying that failure doesn't hurt. I'm not saying you won't feel disappointed, frustrated, or even embarrassed sometimes. But what I am saying is that you can't let those feelings trap you. You can't let those feelings trick you into thinking you're done. Just because you fail doesn't mean you're a failure. Just because you hit a roadblock doesn't mean your journey is over. Failure is not the end of the story. It's just a comma, a pause before the next part of your journey unfolds. You've got to stop letting failure define you. It's just a moment, a blip in time. It doesn't have the power to control your future unless you let it. If you learn from it, if you adjust, if you pick yourself up and keep moving forward, that failure will become just another chapter in the larger story of your success. You will look back on it one day and realize that it wasn't the obstacle that stopped you. It was the decision you made to keep moving forward that got you where you are now. So let me leave you with this. Failure isn't your enemy. It's your teacher. It's your guide. It's the thing that's going to help you grow, get stronger, and eventually achieve your dreams. But you have to embrace it. You have to stop running from it, stop fearing it, and stop letting it define you. Failure is just a part of the process, not the destination. You can fail 1,000 times, but as long as you keep moving forward, you're on the right track. You've got greatness inside you. You've got dreams that are bigger than your fears, bigger than your failures, bigger than your mistakes. But to unlock that greatness, to make those dreams a reality, you have to be willing to get back up after every fall, to press on when things get tough, and to keep going when the road gets hard. The only time you truly lose is when you stop trying. So don't be afraid of failure. Be afraid of quitting. Don't let one setback make you think the story is over. You're just getting started. Keep pushing, keep learning, keep growing. And remember, failure is just a comma. It's not the end. It's just a pause before the next victory, the next chapter, the next step toward your destiny. You've got this. Now go out there and show the world what you're made of.